and a random fan just like gave me a baguette, right? And I just took it, and it just made me smile. Most people don't know what I've been doing before or anything, so I was working part-time at the bakery. Basically, at some point, my boss, where I was working at, he was like, you cannot do that anymore, so he basically told me I have to choose between both, and I just told my mom, and I told her that I wanted to stop everything and just keep going with League of Legends. The really first time I joined Fnatic, it was with Cyanide, Peke, Lamia. When I joined them, they are not the best team.
We were trying really hard to improve. We were trying really hard. And when we managed to improve and start to get better, we wanted more. And when we qualified for LCS and Season 3, we wanted to be the best. We wanted to actually go to Worlds. We wanted to have a chance of winning. You know, like we had no idea how it would be or not, but we wanted to practice our hardest, and we did so.
With the situation afterwards with Fnatic and everything, I felt like the best option was to go Challenger. If I had a better option, like in LCS, I would probably go for the LCS team. I wouldn't have go with Peke. It was like super risky, and it was probably like the most stressful time I've ever dealt with. People expect you to win easily because they think that you're so much better than like these challenger guys, so there's so much expectation for you that what if you don't make it, then like everything falls down, right? So you have to make it.
Peke is pecking the Nexus. This will be going down here, Stress and Origen. Welcome to the LCS.
To keep staying at the top, at some point it was more about like thinking strategy, trying to be ahead of the meta. Probably right now it's not even like this anymore. It's more like about mashing well with the team. It's so much a team game right now that if one player feels excluded of the team or something like this, the team is not gonna perform as well as they should be. Winning is like the most important things because winning makes basically everyone happy in the team. So if you win, there'll be like no problems basically. If you just keep on losing, you just lose motivation, you lose confidence in yourself, in your teammates, and that's the most terrible things ever. Like if you lose confidence in your teammates, then the team will just crumble. So winning is like really important to everyone.
Welcome back, everyone. There, SOAS fantastic feature. If you guys want to watch the full cut, you can go to youtube.com/LOL esports to see that as well. OG is right now going up against Giants in this matchup, the last one here in the arena, but I do want to talk a bit more about SOAS after hearing from him. I mean, he is such an iconic player, and I think he's also one of the players that has gotten the most to deal with from the community side of things, but sometimes he's looked for it a bit himself as well, but he's just such an icon for us.
Yeah, obviously there's been a lot of discussion around SOAS as a persona, partly due to some of his reactions, also because he's just been a staple part of the top laners for so long. He goes way back. And I think that the biggest thing is if you were a top player at one point and you have a dip, that's when people are really going to hit you because they keep the expectations while everybody else is getting better. You're still expected to be better than them. Hopefully for now, people like SOAS and Xpeke have learned from this experience about, you know, when I lose faith in my teammates, I lose self-confidence. Let's not let that happen anymore. You know, Peke as well, you know, Origen right now going through a rough time, but it's not their first rodeo. Hopefully they can use their past experiences, teach some of these newer guys, and mold it into a better team and come back. And I think this weekend would be very important for them. They've already gone 2-0 right now, and this match against Giants has to be a three-pointer for them, I think, and it will decide a lot for the rest of the split.
Yeah, as you mentioned, yesterday a win 2-0 versus Roccat. Soaz was talking about the importance of meshing, and I did feel like something was coming together for them yesterday. Obviously, Xpeke's performance wasn't perfect. Obviously, the team's performance wasn't perfect, but it seemed that they are finally on the same line. But, you know, only a 2-0 is not enough to judge off that.
Xpeke just brings some glue, and that's why to the team, you know, he makes them mesh together. I think that's honestly what Forgiven lacks. This is only from a purely outside perspective, but there are players that offer more than to a team, just more than individual play or just sheer shot calling. It is camaraderie, being a leader. If there's a guy in the locker room who's always smiling, always happy, and you can never catch him in a bad mood, that means so much to some of these teams, and it's so often overlooked. And we only get the results here on the stage every Saturday and Sunday for North America, Thursday, Friday here for Europe. But we don't know what goes on in the practice environment. I think it's good that people like Xpeke can step in, maybe have a very calm mindset, and get everything back on the rails. Because as Soaz alluded to, the game no longer matters solely around individual performance. It is a team game both in and off the Rift.
Yeah, the players already so quickly. One thing about Giants, maybe how much of a chance do you see for them here?
They need to probably snowball the early game. I think they have some individual players that can shine, and kind of if they can take the solo queue snowball aspect, because as much as Soaz talked about like social fits, it must be so hard to create that in Giants, a team that went through so many roster changes, so many different nationalities here, players that have played with each other for maybe 1.5 months now. To have that meshing going up against veterans with the experience of Origin, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The players are ready. The stage is set, so let's head inside and get on to the Rift.
Thank you very much, Shocks and Crepo. I'm Trevor Quickshot Henry, joined by the main Dane with the brain. It's Martin DeFicio Lunga.
Mainly the Dane part is true. Brain part, not so much.
Before we get into game, let's take a look at the roster rundown, starting on the blue side of the Rift, representing Giants. We, of course, have Smitty J in the top lane, Maxwell in the jungle, Knight as the mid laner, Sunstar the AD carry, and Hustlin their support with returning coach Lozark.
Yeah, Lozark actually always been the coach for this Giants lineup, not the one if we go back all the way to Season 3. Anyhow, on the other side, we do have Origen, of course, with Soaz in the top lane. We just heard from him in the feature. Amazing in the jungle. Power Weaver as the mid laner. Pekka is the lady carry. Hybrid is support. Nico the Pico is still the coach for Origen, and I believe he's probably the coach who's been with this team the longest now. Doesn't say much, but he's been there for obviously playoffs, last split, now a few weeks into this split here. And clearly the team is happy with what he's doing. Yeah,
it seems to be the case. We know that there's a lot of experience and talent and personalities on the squad, which is why they're very self-motivated and driving. Amazing had a very good interview yesterday in terms of how Origen approach, and they said it's up to the individual players to bring a level of play that the rest of the team is not responsible for. And in this game, that level of play, I think, is much higher than what we've seen from Giants. They have to be the heavy favorites.
Heavy favorites, yes and no. If Origen play like they did yesterday, I would say yes, they would be favorites. But a lot of teams in Europe are very inconsistent right now. So it can be one of these games where it could easily be a 50-50 if both teams are kind of indecisive, a little bit inconsistent in their performance. We have to see. Origen have banned Rise in 10 out of 10 games. Could easily be the last ban here, but I do feel like he's a champion. While he is super strong, you can actually leave open and kind of bait with the Rise. He's like the carrot on the stick.
Or not.
Ban him. I mean, I'm just saying there are two options.
11 out of 11 games, Origen have banned Rise, regardless of side and preference. And a very early lock-in on the Gragas. We've seen it flexed a couple times. Has been top, has been primarily jungle. And also to mention the Bard and the Braum bans from Giants. No big surprise, but again, targeting out Origen, targeting out Hybrid.
Yeah, something we see almost every single team do, honestly. 8 Bard bans and 7 Braum bans against Origen so far this split. The next most banned champion is Vladimir with only 3 bans. So quite a gap. Everyone is always trying to target Hybrid, and it makes sense because they want to make Pekka weaker by making the support who's trying to carry him in the laning phase weaker at the same time. I think Pekka, though, has, again, not been like dead weight by any means from Origin's side. But he's had some issues, but he's also been able to add a lot of communication, leadership to this team, and he's not been needed as the main carry.
No, definitely not the case. And with each game, Pekka is getting better. My biggest quarry with him as an ADC, I think, is just seeing him caught out in the mid game. You know, still coming to grips with the zones that are safe and dangerous, I feel. Maybe I'm projecting just a tad. But we're not seeing big surprises here. Picks and bans, 6-11.
Everything is standard.
No big surprises. 2 weeks on this patch on the LCS stage.
Yeah, it was fun though because last week in Europe, Karma wasn't that big of a deal. It was just a fine support pick and nothing else. And then LCK played a lot of Karma before this split, before this week, and obviously teams could practice it. And now almost every single team will pick it very early on in the draft because it's such a strong flex pick. We've seen it mainly support in Europe. We actually haven't seen that much mid lane Karma. I think it's strong, but I think it can be difficult to execute because there's a timer. Like, you don't want to go full late game with mid lane Karma. It is kind of meh in the late game when it comes to your damage. It's the best way to describe it.
Your professional description.
It is meh.
Meh. Okay.
So is this champion. Did you see Twitter today, Trevor?
I've seen a little bit of Twitter, but what is it I'm looking for?
So Hyper tweeted that if he got like 20,000 retweets, he would insta-lock Teemo for Power of Evil. Last time I checked, he was on 6k, so we're not going to get the insta-lock Teemo, but they are now having fun with it. Ha ha ha. And we move on.
I just wish you could have brought that up on the analyst desk earlier. I don't know if you did.
I did not.
Because you could have done it. I'm hearing from production it reached 11,000 retweets.
For now.
So,
there's 9k to go.
9,000. I wonder if we can do that in a game. But I don't want to do that because I actually think that's like tampering in some ways.
Right.
But
oh, we know what you're going to play now.
Let's jump back into picks and bans. Peke on the Ashe. Played it yesterday. I think he had a couple of pretty good arrows, but it is one of those champions where low mobility means you can get targeted, especially when you see a Gragas on the other side.
But it is also one of the champions where if you have a good understanding of how to play the map, if you know when you can engage, then Ashe is perfect for you. Also means you don't need to run engage in other roles because you have the arrow. Poppy top as well for Source. We've seen it a few times. It is a pick you mainly just take because she has a good... Like, she has a very strong kit and like she's very good in the late game when it comes to like team fighting, especially because of her ulti. She doesn't really win any lanes, so you can try and go even at best. So it's mainly just we want safety and we want a team fighter who can also block some dashes like a body slam from a Gragas.
But I think that's smart against a team like Giants. You know, play safety. If all things are as expected, in theory, Origen should be the stronger team and should potentially come out ahead. Let's talk about the Giants draft. I think it's well-rounded. You got that split pusher in Trundle, support Nami, some good scaling in Azir. Like little bits of everything.
This is one of the most standard comps we see on 6-11. A lot of the comps are built around what we like to call 1-4 setups, where you have one split pusher, which is the top laner with teleport, and in this case the Trundle, who is actually a legit split pusher. And then you have the 4-man group, which wants to set up around dragons, which wants to siege on towers with like Azir and Ezreal, who has like a strong 4-man fight. And then again you have that one pressure lane on the other side. Super, super standard. And Origen is actually doing exactly the same, where you have that 4-man group with the Rek'Sai, the Victor, the Ashe, and the Karma, and then you have the Poppy sitting in side lane. She's not a split pusher though, so your 1-4 is more built around holding the lane, the one lane, and then actually TPing into a team fight with an arrow flying in from Pekka, where Giants can play the pressure game where 2 lanes are winning at once and smacking the towers down and always forcing Origen to sit back and defend.
But that also requires a higher level of coordination.
It does.
And teamwork, and that's something that Giants were lacking yesterday. A little bit messy, a little bit sloppy in the games against Splice, and in the second game, they got a little run over. So for Giants, it's about getting on the same page as a unit, and once again trying to rally behind Knight, who's been the shining star here for Giants.
Yeah, and that's a key point. I feel like Giants, while they do try and play around Knight, some of the other members make too many individual mistakes. Yeah. We're like, okay, technically right now Knight is in a good spot, and then this guy got caught, this guy died over there, and never mind. Or Knight actually also makes a few mistakes here and there, and then end up losing anyway.
Well, find out if the rest of Giants can help Knight out. There's the team comps, guys. Let us know if you think Giants will win. Hashtag GIA win or hashtag OG win for the last series of week 3 here in Europe. The crowd is excited and stamping their feet. I've got a couple of Southern Hemisphere folk in the house. So to the South Africans and Australians around. How's it, Boot? For now, it's Giants versus Origen.
He didn't want to answer.
Now, listen, he's right behind. I heard. So, anyways, we're going to jump into this one. Do you think it's fair to say Origen have... Let me say something first.
All right, sorry.
Do you think it's fair to say Origen have looked a little bit more towards lane swaps because they can help pick it out in the early game?
I actually think Ashe Karma is a very good 2v2 lane. I think Ashe is a bit of a lane bully. Very hard to trade against her. with a volley, auto attack volley into auto attack makes it a little bit unfair. And if you do have a longer trade, the Q can be impactful. Not that you use it too much in lane. So I think Origen has a strong 2v2 lane, but they do have a bit of a weak 1v1 lane for SOAS, and that's where the lane swap can happen. But SOAS in the past has been okay taking losing matchups and then kind of just doing his own thing for 15-20 minutes, trying not to die too much.
Seen that fairly often over the years. Just a quick update. Hello to everybody who has joined us from EU LCS 2. I've heard that Vitality versus H2K has wrapped up. I'm going to have to catch game number 2 later on the VOD section of LOLesports.com. No, but seriously, welcome though. Giants versus OG. We are into game 1 of this best of 2. Standard lanes.
You didn't miss anything.
Is the name of the game. Just a rant about standard lanes versus lane swaps and
Sure.
the particular matchup that Pekka and Hybrid find themselves in.
And Trevor tried some weird shout-out that completely backfired, and that's been about it. Everything else.
Why are you going to bring that up? They missed it.
I want to make sure they're up to
Full
date.
experience. Okay, fair enough. There's that volley you talked about. And you know, one thing that is good here for Pekka and Hybrid, not only do the champions do well, as Fisher has already explained, but Sunstar, he has his difficulties in the early game.
What a nice way to say it. Yeah, Sunstar, when it comes to CS at 10 and 20, is our second worst AD carry right now. He's down 16 CS on average at 10 minutes, which is quite unique and not something we see very often. We have seen that go the other way, where someone is up 16 CS. It used to be like Forgiven who could do that, but Sunstar's pulled the opposite of a Forgiven. And he's in a tricky lane matchup, but Ezreal is a very good long-range farmer. Let's just keep track of it, because obviously Pekka is still getting used to AD carry, and a lot of it is also learning laning phase. It's kind of weird suddenly you have a guy next to you all the time, where you're used to just playing that 1v1 lane in mid. And we also see something we see very often from Origen, Trevor. Amazing early ganking for SOAS when lanes are pushing towards SOAS, and they're going straight for Smitty.
And this usually means good things for Origen. The stun did not pin Smitty against the wall. Pillar of Ice will slow Amazing down. Tunnel into Burrow. Flash already. Red buff is ticking. Gets a Furious Bite. And with the Summoner spell blown, that's going to allow SOAS more pressure in lane.
Like the little mind game, everyone trying to delay the flashes, and Pekka.
Well, there's learning some of those trades. Luckily, we'll get some support from Hybrid.
And you see some of the early damage from Ash. He got the proc his Q as well. Does a lot of damage, honestly. But yeah, fun with the gank top, how it's all about not flashing first. Because if you flash first as the Rek'Sai, then suddenly the Trundle can dodge around you. If Trundle flashes instantly, then Rek'Sai can follow, knock him up at the same time. I like how Smitty waited for as long as possible. Even used the pillar to force the tunnel out of Amazing, meaning he couldn't chase any further. But still, it's annoying as a Trundle. You want to win this lane, that's why you're pushing it early, and that's why the early gank happens.
Luckily, it was a matchup which SOAS could have had trouble with. Going to have some additional freedom. Where is Max Law farming up the jungle? Got himself a couple extra camps under his belt.
I just went back to see the timing of the gank from Amazing. I like to run with around 3 minutes, is where you need to have your first wards down, because that's where the early gank can happen very often, but Smitty didn't place his ward at that time. So got maybe a little bit surprised, therefore had to flash away. But not the end of the world, technically. But it does really hurt him. So actually maybe it is the end of the world. We have to see once he gets the wave pushed down towards him, because right now he's obviously respecting the fact that Amazing can show up again.
In theory, help pick up first blood. Knight is his best here to pressure Power of Evil. Denied a few CS already, 35 to 29, with about 3 more in front. And Pekka and Hybrid, this poke war is just going a bit crazy. And Pekka is going to be able to farm up, I think, relatively well under this tower.
Hey, Sunstar's not falling behind right now.
Yeah, good change.
So positive. Hybrid also had an early back. Before actually not an early back, he was just roaming very quickly, and meaning Pekka had a few trades. Amazing is a very active jungler. I think he's realized with the new OG lineup that because you don't have a winning bot lane normally, he needs to be more active in the early game to try and get either Power of Evil or SOAS rolling. Especially the SOAS camp has worked before for Origen. Remember like the Jax game, and we've had the Fizz game as well for SOAS. It's games where he got off to a great start and he became like the main carry. So I like to follow Amazing and see what he's doing early on. However, a lot of ganking often means you farm less.
Yeah.
And right now we can see he's behind, also because he had a pure one buff gank and didn't even get to go to bottom side, and Maxlaw actually took away his blue.
So Maxlaw gets the 3 buff start. He's was a level ahead, amazing, just dinked 5. And he's got a sizable CS advantage. We got a quick glimpse there of Knight. Flash exhaust his summer spells. He's gone for the double Doran's rings. A little bit invested in this laning phase. And try and push up any sort of advantages that he can early on.
Servus really wanted to show that tunnel being placed. One of the good things with the Rek'Sai, the amount of walls you can move past. Did get cleared away though, so not really a whole lot there. Giants did show the jungle on top side, obviously, so Origen does have some information on where Maxlaw is around on the map. But right now, no one is really setting up any ganks. You can see a lot of wards on top here because Smitty J, again, he needs to push his lane, and he had no flash, so a lot of protection for him. And therefore, Amazing is just farming, realizing he can't really go for any ganks. He will be spotted, and he doesn't have a flash in case a counter gank does happen. We always have to remember that.
Got to play a little bit of catch-up. Very early Sightstone there as well for Amazing, before even upgrading his jungle item. Going to give some additional utility to his role. Help out those laners. It just doesn't feel like Origen. There's no pressure to win this laning phase. Go even. Find some picks with a double teleport and the Ash Arrows, and then look to take command.
But we have to remember, if Smitty J can get control in this lane after the early gank, that's a winning lane for Giants throughout the entire game, basically, with this Trundle. And Origen will be forced to just pick teamfights every single time. So what we can see later on is a QSS comes in fairly early from the Giants members to stop that main engage from Origen, because everything else is built around then Amazing with like a flash knockup, or Soa's TPing in with his flanking. But it's very hard to only rely on TP flanking because you're getting pushed back in your lane. Because you know whenever you leave your lane, then Trundle will just take your tower. And the threat is always there. And it becomes a bit more scary for Origen then to start these fights if Pekka can't be the main engage. Power Weaver, though, is roaming to the bottom lane, setting up a potential early dive.
Spotted by the pink ward.
Instantly spotted, yes.
Yeah. And talking about that bottom lane, Sunstar, Cull and Tia.
Long
Standard
con here.
standard blue build, Ezreal,
Yes.
as it were. Despite some of the changes to Triforce, despite the potential for it to be brought up. Actually, I think, was it only Jax that we saw build that? I think so, actually.
Yes.
Putting you on the spot with that one, but that's a little unfair.
Well, we actually
But nothing too
we
bad.
saw Sven go at the Triforce
Yeah.
as well on Ezreal. Amazing, though. Not really getting caught out. We're trying to potentially hype up some moments, and Sunstar.
So much damage. Pekka's got that ranger's focus, does not flash away from the barrels. But Sunstar files the missiles wide. And
Warning
something
shot,
a heal blow. Just a warning shot. Sending the message.
This could have hit you.
Yep. I think it would have made a huge difference, though.
It's a good play, though, from Origen, because, again, when you have, as you just said yourself, a tier call Ezreal, he's not strong at all. You have a BF Sword Ashe, so look for fights around the bottom, and that's your strong lane at the moment if you're Origen. So I really like how they put priority on it. You always see these professional teams identify what's our strongest lane right now. If we make a play in any lane, where's the highest percent chance it works? Well, in this case, it's bottom lane, because your Ashe is sitting on a BF Sword. It's a strong 2v2 lane anyway with the Karma as well. So I really like the pressure. No real response from Giants, because the best they can do is TP down with Smitty J, and then Source just follows. And then Origen is still stronger. So I really like that little setup. And you can always just identify strongest lane on the map. That's where you put your pressure.
Low risk, high reward.
That's why we like Trevor.
Yeah. Controlled. And that's a good sign from Origen as well. They are marginally down in CS, in gold rather, but that's because of the CS. Advantages from the jungle, from the mid lane. Power of Evil's got access to level 8, gonna start maxing his first skill shortly.
Still a problem for Giants. They don't have this snowballing top lane. You're gonna need that Tiamat upgraded before Smitty J really start taking over the lane. But again, Source have had enough time where he didn't get killed on the tower to a gank. Might see more action in the bottom lane because Pekka is moving forward.
He really is. Hustlin's way too far away. The volley didn't find a target, but Sunstar's in trouble. Exhaust comes out. I think he hits the kill. First blood was picked up by Pekka. It's supportal combat as here comes Amazing. Not going to pick a battle as Maxlaw shows his face. Hustlin and Hybrid, they continue to hit one another. Amazing, and Maxlaw just clear out the vision. 1 for 1.
You fight, you go, you go. And then they just take the wards and nothing else. But 80 carry trade. Looked a little bit funky in the start. Sunstar even managed to dodge around the volley, so good for him. But not really a whole lot to say. They're all-inning each other straight away. I actually think if you are Origen, you don't need to all in the 2v2. You can just set up the play with your jungler coming down, as you will be stronger. But a trade. Didn't see who got the first blood.
First blood to Peke.
Ah, so he
Worth it. Here's the replay.
All right, so we get the replay. He doesn't see the enemy support. That's why he's like, oh, I can all in here because I can slow him down and can land an arrow in his face. In the end, both
Flash for flash.
flash as well and die. And now,
We're both scared of the tidal wave. Needed to get out of the way.
Look at the confidence, Trevor. This is
like
an AD
it.
carry who knows what he's doing. He's been playing AD carry for a whole 2 weeks.
Still call Worth. Still call Worth.
Got the first blood.
Exactly. And in the top lane, Soaz, he's got chunked down. Looking at the cooldowns, neither ultimate is available. Soaz has got +1. The pin does not find a target. The heroic charge, not so much. Steadfast presence will not do a whole lot against Trundle, though.
And bot lane now, Ashe has no flash. Keep that in mind against the Gragas jungle. That's a body slam flash, and instantly Giants will get a kill. Peke and Hybrid realizes not only have our jungler shown on top side, we also now overextended and therefore have to back away and surrender some CS. That is the cool thing if you play in Israel. You don't always need that flash. Ashe definitely needs it against junglers like Gragas, like Rek'Sai. So Peke now maybe regretting his decision, even though he got the first blood.
Well, we'll find out how worth it is. About a third of that cooldown has been worn away, but it'll take a lot of time. As both members of Giants, Knights and Maxlaw coming up. Slide and glide. Emperor's Divide is flashed away from Power of Evil, respecting the ability. And he gets out.
Always this two-step process when you want to gank Victor as an Azir. We see this matchup very often. The first one, you slide in and you make sure you get the flash. And then you just do it once your cooldown is back up. And suddenly, you secure a kill because your jungler shows up at the same time and you can knock that Victor pretty far back in towards your own tower. The Power of Evil now needs to be a little bit scared. Same for Peke in the bottom lane. So we have maybe a minute or two where we need to see Maxlaw do something. He has 2 lanes to gank. He doesn't need to be afraid of Source because right now Source is going to lose the lane on top side. Mid lane or bot lanes where we want to see Maxlaw go.
And that farm advantage that Maxlaw had earned in the opening sort of 8 minutes has disappeared. You know, Amazing's been able to catch up, take a little attacks here and there, and Amazing's been a lot more active on the map as he throws up the farm alarm. But you know, you talked about Smitty J winning this lane. We're actually seeing a lot more Trundle than I think I was expecting. The QSS changes, bringing him back to popularity.
Definitely.
But it's not a simple just pick it and
Wait
win.
for it. Here's the gank. We called this one the easiest gank to ever call in our lives. Peke is making sure this Gragas does not move too close. It's not going to hit anyone but Source in the face.
Almost. Near miss.
But yeah, Trundle top. What do you want to know, Trevor?
Is it a trap card?
No, it is not. But I like to call Trundle the Nidalee of top laners.
Oh, do it. Tell me why.
Because Trundle has the ability to completely take over the game, but it requires a strong early game. It requires him to have the pressure and the great matchup as well. But if he gets a few early kills, takes down that early tower, gets a longer lane as well, in these 1v1s against tanks like Poppy, he has just full control and he can just constantly push it down, even dive you if he wants to. And therefore he has the ability to just become so annoying to play against. And then in a team fight, obviously he takes away so many stats, and as long as you can focus the front line, he has value.
So, to Fisher, we've got the checklist. Early kills, long lane, take down the tower. None of those tick boxes have been checked yet. And
Right.
we're 15 minutes in.
Yeah, that's obviously a little bit annoying.
At what point do we then start worrying for Giants?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Tower is taking some damage, down about 30% on top side. He is about to take the lane in his control, gets the Titanic Hydra very soon as well. Nothing Source can really do, but definitely a good for Origen that they bought more time, even to secure a dragon without losing anything yet. Maxlaw on top side, because you look at the lane being pushed in, but he's not been able to gank anything, despite still no flash now in the mid lane with an Azir. Giants, this is where you need to punish a team like Origen for having those flashes down. Otherwise, you don't get any early advantage.
This is the definition of an invisible jungler.
It is, even though he's quite a large man.
Hidden away inside the jungle.
Big bones, maybe.
Yeah, big bones maybe. I'll leave that to you to decide. Neither here nor there for me. But Origen, I think they were going to be very content. You know, they had this team comp that wanted to group, that wanted to make use of, you know, the double TPs, the Ashe arrows. 3 games in a row for Pekka and Ashe, played it both yesterday, and this is where Origen's strengths and experience will outclass and outshine Giants, and that's something you can't really put a value on.
And that's fair. I mean, Origen now got a bot tower without really using anything. Source is now on the bottom side away from the trundle lane, because now you swap it top here and your tower didn't even go down. So you actually just have a free tower advantage. Source though,
He's in trouble.
runs away from that one.
Tidal Wave's not going to find anything. Aqua Prison locks Soaz up. Body slam, flashed away from Soaz. He's
angry. He's really angry.
But he gets away with his life. What else can Origen take? There's pressure in the top lane. They may be trading
They're
tower
just
for
gonna
tower.
get a tower, but it's again, they're gonna get the tower much faster. Source will try and shoot away some minions here.
And
And
the
the
fish
support.
as well. Sends hustling flying. I don't think it'll stop the tower though. Pekka and Hybrid, they're pushing top.
But now it's about the tempo, and it's about the fact that Giants would have naturally gotten that top lane tower had it stayed standard lanes, because then Trundle would have taken down that tower. Origen wouldn't have gotten anything for it, basically. But instead, they bought enough time by the early gank on Trundle. They got a bot lane tower, then swapped top lane. So now, while they trade, they're still 1 tower ahead, even a Rift Hell coming up. No dragon on bottom side. Origen is in control because they've been getting extra every single time.
So Giants put themselves in a little bit of a precarious position. They're down a tower still from the very early ganks in that bottom lane. And Pekka and Hybrids earning themselves first blood. The Eye of the Void, was that picked up there by Amazing? I believe that it was.
I
And
think Amazing just got the last
double
hit.
check. Ashe Arrow finds Knight. Whoa, he sends the Emperor's Divide completely the wrong direction. There's a party in the mid lane, and everybody's invited. Amazing's gonna burrow his way into the fight. Won't find anybody to knock up though, and Giants begin to back away. Not the most exciting party,
That was
but
a boring one.
yeah, I was getting my hopes up. Amazing's actually just gonna tunnel out. Peace out, bro. Don't want Origen peel away as well.
Origen did get the Rift Hell, as you said. Amazing picked it up because it was him, Pekka, and Hybrid. They're kind of like, we actually don't want it on either of these players. We want it on Soaz, technically. But does have a little bit of value, I guess, for Amazing. Just a tiny bit. Because that's one thing you can do with Origen's comp. You can actually put the Rek'Sai in a side lane just to push. And then have his ulti globally. Max Law.
Pressure is on, no
Let's
flash
see.
available. Body slam flashed away from it. People predicted that barrel. You know, this is a little bit of good dodging and prediction and poor aim as well.
Yeah, it's, it's definitely a bit of both. But you actually said no flash. And oh, you meant Max Law had no flash.
Max
Yeah,
Law
I
had
thought-
no
I
flash.
was bad. I was like,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
people? Where? He's no
No,
flash. He's gonna die.
the body slam flash
Yeah,
would have helped.
It would have helped. Definitely would have helped. He got another flash,
There's,
though.
there's a play-by-play line if you've ever heard one.
You got a flash, Trevor. You got the flash. But last time they got a flash, they didn't use it. So Origen, as we said, you know, been getting a little bit here and there. Extra tower, a Rift Herald. They got the first dragon. Next one coming in 2 minutes time, an Infernal one. So we are blessed by the Dragon God with some good dragons in this one here, some impactful ones. And both teams honestly can fight for the next one, because we are at the point, you know, 2 items on Sunstar. Knight is strong enough to fight as well. Got level 13. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, right. So you can't just...
Because I was about to say, yeah, and he also got ranked to ultimate. Like, he's actually 13, so he has that for
Had
a
it for a
while.
little while,
Like,
yeah.
not sure why.
Needlessly large rod as well as Nash's Tooth picked up for Knight's Azir. And I think
Why
it's
is it so
important to
large?
note, I'm not quite sure. It's needlessly large. But you know, you can't disrespect the fact that Giants have gone completely even with OG. Truthfully, not a whole lot has actually happened in terms of the laning phase. A few ganks here and there,
Right.
but they still have a lot of power in their team composition. They just
Yeah.
need to play a team fight well, potentially around this next dragon.
I agree. And we might get the situation where if Smitty J can't really be a bully on the Trundle, let's see what happens to copy Max. Like, again, Ashe has no flash, but he got hit by the arrow and didn't want to throw ulti this time because you laughed at him the last time, Trevor.
I did, it's my fault. But that's good. Holding on to that cooldown. No real threat. The
I don't know,
objective
I
was the
feel like
tower.
Yeah, it was obviously the tower they went for. Maybe they didn't have proper vision of
But
the other Origin members.
You
but-
also have to ask the question, maybe the last 2 barrels that missed thwarts Maxlaw's confidence in throwing the next one. You know, like, I'm projecting here a little bit.
I mean,
but these could start to seep through.
There's an Ash arrow straight in his face, so the stun was very, very, very short. And the more aggressive Gragas there could have easily shot Pekka back, maybe even picked up a kill plus the tower. Pekka was alone at the time, definitely didn't expect to find Maxlaw in there. But still, I mean, as we talked about with Smitty J here, if he's not able to be that big bully in the side lane and you get into the first team fight here with this Infernal Drake, then Source does have the chance to have more impact with a great ulti on this Poppy, and suddenly what was supposed to be that winning lane for Giants and a big advantage in the draft for them actually ends up going in the favor of Origen. They're starting the Dragon on the side of Giants. Power Vivo was on top side because he has teleport. Rest of Origen coming down very late.
No Ash arrow yet.
Source missed.
Take a few seconds.
Ah, Amazing steals
Stolen
there.
away. Amazing gets it, but at what cost? He's going to flash away. Amazing was able to secure the dragon. That's an infernal to Origen. And they're able to just walk away unscathed. A couple of summoners, and that's definitely worth.
Oh yeah, you didn't even lose anything. If you're Origen. See any flashes? Yeah, Amazing had to flash and Source had to flash, but again, we've seen Origen lose flashes multiple times this game and never really seemed to do anything.
Nope, does not impact them just yet.
But 2 Drakes, 2 great Drakes as well for Origen here, meaning you always gotta keep that in mind. Every single pro player in these games, like, they have this timer in the head being, okay, if they do start a Baron and we don't see them, how long will it take them with this kind of composition? It's hard to factor in the Mountain Drakes and Infernal Drakes to the extra damage. I actually see that quite often now.
Oh, a lot of damage on Sunstar. The Chaos Storm's tagging.
there we go.
Maxlaw's looking for more. True Shot Barrage comes out, but Sunstar's taken down. I think that was the death ray. Maxlaw's now in trouble as Hoslin and Maxlaw flash over the wall. Hybrid follows up, manages to catch one down. 2 kills to Origen.
Such a tough game for Maxlaw and Giants. I feel like every time he's trying to do something, it just goes wrong. Dove in this time, had no ulti, and then suddenly his AD carry behind him just died. Need to see if that was the ulti from Victor staying on him, because it is fully upgraded. I need some more vocal training here, but it is fully upgraded early on from Power of Evil, meaning the extra movement speed makes it very difficult to escape the ulti. Pekka, we've seen this
Flash,
before.
and not going to be followed by Knight. Knight's not done. Sand Soldiers forward. Here comes Soaz. He's been sent packing. No, that was Amazing, I believe. Now Soaz knocks Knights up into the air. Aqua Prison comes down. Knight's able to flash away with his life. And the tidal wave buys some time. Origen starting to play much more aggressive, starting to push forward and reacting to Giants plays.
And they're able to make plays together where there's no split pushing Trundle. The Trundle is here defending a tower. He has no wave clear. He only has value right now sitting in the side lane. So the fact that Origen can force plays together really benefits them and makes it very difficult for Giants to use their composition properly. And it's going to be more about Knight and Sunstar in these big team fights. Okay, let's see. So it's fully upgraded Hex Core from Power of Evil. Sunstar should never Arcane Shift in towards a victim, by the way. And then, yeah,
there we
just
go.
has the Chaos
Stay on
Storm
the Chaos
on
Storm.
him, and it does a lot of damage with these ticks. That's why fully upgrading that Hex Core, so it stays on you for the full 6 seconds, is very strong. Hybrid securing the kill.
Got so confused how Maxwell got over the wall. Like, I didn't see a flash particle. Because he didn't flash, Trevor. That's why I stumbled on my words. Look back and have regrets.
Again, maybe you should get some game training.
I should.
I get the vocal training, and then...
But you know, some things are just hopeless. Like, I won't be able to make a difference there. Power of Evil's in trouble. 3 members of Giants on here. There's some port coming in from Hybrid and Amazing. Giants smelling blood in the water, but unable to stick to their target long enough.
Still even a gold here. I mean, despite Origen getting the 2 Drakes, we obviously have to value that in the gold lead with the extra stats, especially from the Infernal Drake. But the fact that, again, I'm looking at this minimap and I'm seeing Soas push past the river against a Trundle says a lot about how this game has been going so far. Smitty J not able to have the proper impact. Suddenly we're looking at just full-on team fights being the way to win the game for both teams. And that's where the Poppy, if Soas has the good ulti, really can be impactful. Some dashes to stop as well. Obviously, body slams and a seer flying in there. There are a few different things. Cannot stop Arcane Shift.
Nope.
There's a blink.
Doesn't
work there.
dash rather. All right, Dragon. Next one will be Cloud Drake. Some vision
That
being
was the body
set up. Body slam interrupted. No flash available for Max Law. Keeper's Verdict comes out. Soaz is in trouble. Emperor's Divide goes backwards. And a little bit of an oopsie, I think.
Yeah.
That's good side of Soaz. Not quite sure why he was in that side of the Dragon Pit either.
I'm pretty sure he was trying to set up around the mid tower, because then Smitty would have been bot lane without a TP, pushing out the wave, and then Source was setting up for like the dive with the arrow coming in. Problem is, everyone from Giants has kind of spotted him, killed him.
And those are mistakes that I don't think Origen can afford to make. Right at the beginning of the game, I was like, hey, Origen, they should be clear favorites. They should be the stronger team. And you very rightly were like, hang on, don't get too excited, Trevor. Because if members of Origen get caught out, if they continue to stay even against Ezreal, Azir, even Gragas can tank here,
Yeah.
there's more and more likelihood that a mistake can cost more than just a dragon or a tower.
There is definitely not a clear winner late game, just looking at the comps. It's going to be about how they execute them. Because in this meta, Trevor, one thing I've noticed is a lot of the picks we see all the time, and never mind, Amazing is driving straight into his own death.
He has a pick.
He's flash.
Flash blown, though. Not the end of the world for Rek'Sai, but still, you know,
Definitely not
problem.
the ulti you want to use. Normally ulti helps you.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost your flash and almost all your HP. You just go back to base again, almost at this point.
Oh,
Arrow.
Arrow will find his target onto Hustlin. He's going to get taken down. The long-range damage from Peke and Power of Evil. And Smitty J, whoa, is he trying? Look at that. He's able to subjugate and force Soaz away as well.
That's what we're supposed to see all the time in this 1v1, that Source can never stay close. But Hustlin has the Mikhails, sadly. It's great for your teammates, not for you. Therefore, he is a great target and good ulti here from Peke. Knowing that's a free kill on the support, something we see more and more as well, because we have all these squishy supports, right? It's very easy to target them, kill them. We're all the way back to Season 3 in that case.
Yeah.
Sunstar with the early QSS, because again, he needs to against the arrow. Mikhails for the Azir, so it becomes harder and harder for Peke to set up the proper ult, unless he hits it right in the face of Hustle.
But I really like seeing more Ashe. You know, starting to be a lot more common, you know, a lot more of a standard pick. And bringing all of that utility to the table.
Exactly.
Especially when you've got such a strong front line in the team of Origen, you know, with Soaz and Amazing, both playing very well. It makes Peke's life easier and safer when he doesn't put himself in harm's way.
Yeah, sure, but there's multiple ways, multiple reasons we see Ashe being played so much. I mean, one of them is that we have less hard engage from top laners, so having the hard engage from your AD carry is super strong. Another thing is obviously some other AD carry nerfs, like Lucian being nerfed, meaning Ashe steps in as a strong laner who can beat things like Ezreal and Sivir in lane. And I also like when teams can execute an Ashe composition, because she's very different than any other AD carry. Because it's all about the fact that you can punish people when they push up lanes too much. And like you can hover around a little bit out of vision, get mid control, then roam into river, set around dragon, and if someone tries to push the mid lane back towards your tower, arrow in the face. Instantly, you just engage, you go for it. You have to be proactive though.
Yeah.
You cannot be reactive and play Ashe, then it's completely useless.
Defeats the point. And luckily for Origen, the few times they have used that arrow, it's worked out. They didn't contest that dragon, by the way. So Giants are able to pick up their first dragon. I know that's a lot of love for that Cloud Drake from you, Deficio.
But don't get me started here, Trevor.
Okay, so the next one's Infernal. That's a lot more exciting.
Oh, we like that, yeah, we like Infernal. Strong Drake.
And again, look at this, 30 minutes in. Even in goals. Giants are in fact the team that has the tower advantage because they just knocked over that outer turret.
We're setting up, Trevor, for the big, big team fights. Because no one is going to win the game purely in a side lane, as we've said 500 times, with Smitty J not getting control in that lane.
Disappointed dad Deficio.
No, well, he got early ganked. He didn't have to ward down.
Okay.
I had to flash for it. Then his lane was actually still pushed towards Source with no flash. He's like, I'm not going to go and push it out.
Partially disappointed dad Deficio.
Right.
Okay.
Neutral.
Neutral. Okay. I can dig that. Origen was setting up in and around the Baron, denying some vision. I see 2 pink wards in the river, but not the greatest amount of wards actually from Origen on the map. A couple of defensive placements in that left quadrant for Giants, and I think when you've got those double TPs, I was very critical yesterday when Splice did not use their double TPs particularly effectively. I don't think Origen have tried to use them, but I also don't feel like they were looking to win early either, really.
I don't like TP and Victor, like at all. I actually don't think it's very good. I think Ghost is fantastic on Victor, especially on 6-11 with the scaling now from it. So good in late
And the
game
Rylai's
teamfight.
build as well.
Rylai's build here as well. Like, it just makes you so mobile. Where TP on Victor in this case is more for Origen just to be able to control one side lane, but never split push, really. They just like clear the wave and then have that extra global to stop any aggression going on the map. And it can work against a split pusher like Trundle. If he goes too aggressive, you can then have double TP. You can run down and gank him with 2 guys and then TP in. Baron being started, remember guys, Mountain Drake and Infernal Drake, so it goes down faster than normal. The rest of Giants are coming.
Teleport from Smitty J was in the mid lane. Baron, look at the HP bar, down to 3,500. Giants, they're trying to get in. 1,500, they're too late. It's been secured by Origen without contest.
Trevor.
Knight slides forward. Soaz is knocked back. Emperor's Divide will lock him out, and Soaz is the only sacrifice for Baron for the buff, and it remains on 4.
That internal timer, how fast can they kill the Baron? Always gets a little bit messed up once you have these Drakes in there, but also Giants just being way too far back on the map. But we see this more and more. We see these dragons getting, I'm almost gonna say, not so much snuck away, like kind of like starting it randomly.
Secured, uncontested.
Sure, that's another one. Like, I see it more and more, even like at 20 minutes, 22 minutes. Maxlaw, finally he gets the ulti.
He makes this barrel work. Power of Evil gets caught up in the air. He's not dead yet. The Siphon Power, it's got such a big shield. He finally goes down. Kill was secured by Hustlin, but Maxlaw may go down and reply. Peke chunks him down with the Rangers' focus, and they trade mid lane for jungle. Power of Evil, 45-second death timer.
Power of Evil stayed alive for such a long time, flashing away as well. Getting quite some damage down, 1 for 1. Despite a good engage from Maxlaw this time around. Keep in mind, Giants were fighting against the Baron buff as at the same time. And honestly, just buying time with this. Getting that 1 kill, even if you trade 1 for 1, you kind of just stop Origen from setting up a siege. Not that Origen's comp is the greatest siege composition in the world, but important.
They've still only got 2 towers from that lane swap. Origen have played on their half of the map and the river for 33 minutes.
Let's see how Power of Evil stays alive. So that's the engage. Soldiers on him all the time, but of course Sunstar isn't here, so it's only Knight dealing damage, and then Sunstar joins in. That's why Power of Evil could stay alive. And then Peke getting some good damage down in the end. Everything used to kill Power of Evil, obviously. Ulti from Azir as well. We'll get more fights, Trevor, don't worry. I know it's only 9 kills so far.
Yeah, but look at the vision setup. Ash Arrow catches Sunstar, QSS on the Mercurial rather will allow him to escape. And the vision that Origen have placed in Giants jungle, a minute ahead of the Infernal Drake spawning. They want to be ready for this objective.
And this seems to be the plan for Origen with this teleport on Power of Evil. Just have him hold lanes when Source doesn't have his teleport because he just used it. They know they will be under pressure in that one side lane, so having double global gives them a little bit more freedom, but it does make Power of Evil much weaker in these late game fights, and that's going to be important because we're 34 minutes in against Ezreal, against Azir, like strong late game champions from Giants, so everything counts. And we need to see if Power of Evil are able to get all his damage down, or if it's in some way hurt by the fact he doesn't have that extra mobility to move around. It can be difficult against double tank, things like a Nami, like one bubble and you die late game, and then the team fight could be over.
No Hourglass for Power of Evil to try and avoid the Tidal Wave or the Aqua Prison. A lot of tools. So 35 minutes. Very quickly approaching. The Infernal Dragon is spawning, and you can see Maxlaw waddle his way into the river. All the vision Origen had set up has been cleared out and removed. So the double teleport play actually wouldn't even be possible because Soaz doesn't have his available. Doesn't need it, as he's right in the front line. Origen making it very clear they want to contest this.
And they should, both teams. Infernal Drake into an Elder Drake after will be massive for both teams. Now we are in the late game. They're setting up Giants with the better position for now. spot.
So tough to engage into the Nami, into the Gragas, into the Azir. Giants, they're not committing just yet. Ash Arrow from Expeke. Where will it go? Keeper's verdict. That sends Hustling away. A Tidal Wave is down. Smitty J gets caught by the enchanted Crystal Arrow. Tidal Wave will at least split the fight for a little as Amazing continues to get tagged by the Infernal Dragon. The Dragon is dealing so much damage. He's finally going to get focused by Giants. They've decided to regroup. The fight hasn't broken out yet.
And every single lane right now is just completely even with the minions, so no one gets any sort of advantage. And no one wanted to engage, didn't want to risk it. Like, look at every single lane on your minimap. It's just in the middle with the minions, so nothing you can push now. You can't like rush down the middle and say, okay, you get Dragon, we didn't take your mid tower. Wasn't really possible for any of the teams. Instead, Giants picks it up. Super important for them. Infernal Drake each.
And this
Flank coming, Trevor.
Give them some pressure. Look at Amazing in the mini-map. Origen have got a long time before that ECA is available for Peke. Look on the back line. Soaz has found Sunstar. Mercurial Active has already been used. And Amazing's in a little bit of trouble. Smitty J, standing on the frozen domain, has a tool. Defensive barrel from Maxlaw, and Giants look to have disengaged. What did Origen use on that? Over the course of it, it looks like just the flash from Hybrid, and the ultimate from Peke is available shortly.
Yeah, a few more seconds. No QSS yet for Sunstar. If he can manage to hit him, that's an easy kill for Origen. Doesn't really want to hit the Gragas, doesn't really want to hit the Trundle either.
Peke is getting hit. Tidal Wave for the engage. Giants, they're looking for blood. Soaz is in trouble. Forced to flash away from the wall. He Rafflecopters one away. That's Maxlaw down. Defensive Crystal Arrow.
No one wants to die. They're both teams just constantly kind of poking each other a little bit. No one really hard engages. And we might just have to wait for Baron to respawn. And then we see another fight over an objective. We hope for that big team fight that can decide the game. It's been low kills, a lot of focus on, honestly, just dragons. Because it's not even like tower focus has been a thing. It's only 3 towers each, 40 minutes in.
And you look at this game, in contrast to yesterday's games for Origen, where they really ran away with the early to mid game against Roccat. They had a great start to both of those games. Today, a much more passive, reserved style of play, and this could be risky.
Oh, we're face checking.
Amazing, almost face checks yet. Knights, Hustling, Maxlaw, they're looking for blood. Hybrid's the one that's called backwards. Emperor's Divide stops in 45 seconds on the death timer. Smitty J, he teleported in for this.
Really good setup by Giants. They're always first here in the late game to these objectives, setting up Dragon first. That's why they secured Infernal. Then this setup, this Baron play, it's because Power of Evil is sitting in side lane with teleport, while the Azir from Giants is sitting in the mid lane. Azir is perfect when it comes to getting lane control and pushing first. Origen can't do anything with an Ashe against it because Peke has tried it in the past and then he gets engaged on and dies. So because Power of Evil is sitting side lane, then Origen has no mid lane control, meaning they always last. He has a QSS now, by the way. Just making sure, no matter what.
Insta QSS from Hustling. He manages to walk away. Peke has hit a few of those on target. Hybrid is only respawning shortly. But the 4-man stack of Origen, they're on the front line. Poppy Ultimate has sent Knight away. Tidal Wave splits up the fight. Maxlaw's in trouble. Is Peke. He's been caught out. 2 members of Origen are down. This could be gigantic for Giants. Smitty J's continuing to push forward. Soaz is down. It's a double kill for Knight. He's still unkilled this game. Power of Evil will buy some time with that gravity field. PoE and Hybrid. Can they pull a hero play against 4?
Once again, Giants with mid lane control, allowing them entrance to the Dragon area, to the Baron area, and setting up first. That's why Hybrid died before. Now he needs to steal it. I've seen supports do it before.
Gonna try.
Whoa.
Wow! Power of Evil shuts down Knight. Knight was looking for the hero play himself. Baron down to 2,700. Hybrid and Power of Evil. They punish the over-aggression of Giants.
But Origen didn't even have Smite here. Giants didn't need to jump out of the pit and try and kill them. You had Smite on your jungler. Trust in him.
He was dead and in the base. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, you're right. I'm completely blind.
Long range auto. Not cool, bro. Yeah, Maxlaw was dead. He was not in the pit with them.
Oh yeah, he died in the fight just before. I was like, they got Smite. What are you doing? Why are you jumping out of the pit? Makes a lot more sense then. The Giants decided to try and kill the Victor.
It makes sense. They tried to kill him. I'm not.
They tried to kill the Victor, so he could like laser over and potentially steal it. Then they just backfired the execution.
Well, that's
Maxwell's
definitely the
back
case.
now. He's alive, Trevor. He's
He
alive. I
is,
see him.
but Knight is not. Knight is not. 5 members of Origin. They're sitting on Baron. It's been dropped to 6,000 HP. It's going to be the focus, Smitty J. He's forced to flash away. He manages to get a little bit of assistance from Hustlin. The Baron is still hammering away and amazing. Sunstar running low on mana. That's very important. Minion Wave is in favor of Origin. If they can win the fight, that could be a big turn for them. Baron, 2,000 hit points. Maxlaw's in trouble. He's the one with Smite. It's secured. The Baron by Origin. And Giants run away. This is just a messy, messy fight between the two teams. With nobody really looking for kills. Maxlaw throws out the barrel. He catches Power of Evil and Soaz. Knight flies forward. 2 members of Origin down, but 3 members remain with Baron.
Great ulti in the end here from Maxlaw, but Baron for Origin. There were some big waves pushing in, but Giants have enough time to go back and clear them. Shouldn't lose anything from it. So Baron to Origin. 2 kills for Giants. 40 seconds on Soaz and Power of Evil, and Elder Drake is up in 20 seconds. And this time again, Maxwell is alive. Can't believe him. This man, I was so tunnel on the Baron. Anyway, Elder Drake, Giants should rush it, set up for it, start it, and force Origin to move down and try and stop you, and then engage straight away on them. They should be ready. Only Sunstar is missing because he has to clear that big wave top.
I think very important. Origin able to get that Scuttle Crab. Gonna have that little bit of vision and utility.
Start it. If Pekka moves in too close, you go for him instantly. Watch out for the steal though. Amazing. Behind, he should be spotted once he moves out of the bush, but he'll tunnel over.
Soaz has no teleport available despite being alive. Elder Dragon's being focused. Sunstar's found amazing. They're going in for the engage. Hustler's in trouble. The Dragon is secured. Origin take it. The crowd goes wild. Knight is forced to run for his life. Gets over the wall. Gets away with the help of Sunstar. And 3 members of Giants are down.
Man, amazing. We're just sitting behind the Dragon Pit. Waiting, and then he goes in and he gets it. And he even got the support there at the same time. What a hero move from Amazing. Elder Drake now, Baron buff. You couldn't ask for more.
Plus, the Mountain Dragon from much earlier in the game will allow Origin to just melt through these objectives like butter. Minion waves, I think slowly pushing away from them may not be a big worry. 5 members of Origin, they might be looking to finish.
They got an army here moving straight towards the Nexus.
To the Nexus turrets, Knight and Sunstar.
Hit the tower.
I don't think they can stop this one. Knight's looking for the Emperor's Divide. He catches 3. It means a kill onto Power of Evil, but he costs him his own life. Hudson forced to flash away. Sunstar looking to do more. Arcane shifts aggressively forward. Mercurial Scimitar will buy some time. Heroic Charge pins him against the wall as the bubble throws up Soaz. Giants have successfully defended their base, and there's 1 minute long death timers.
TP coming in here from Smitty J. He wants to kill Pekka.
Yeah,
no flash grenade to carry.
Will buy some time, but it won't matter. Connects onto Maxlaw. Pekka gets a lot of damage on a Smitty J, but 62 seconds till he's up. How far can Giants push?
Yeah, risky play from Origin trying to finish. If you want to go for that, you have to just try and rush down the towers. Obviously, Knight were able to jump in, kill 1 member, and buy more time for the rest of Giants to respawn. They're pushing up now. We have 40 seconds on Pekka. Everyone else up within 10 seconds, and then 22 for Soaz.
Minion line is about to reach the Giants members. This is getting very tense. Amazing.
They can get Inhib.
He's in trouble. Inhib will be secured. Giants will back away. This game is not done yet. In Origin, they've got to be so careful going forward.
So let's see. Correct move from Giants to start the Elder Drake and try and force a fight. The problem is they're all staying in the Dragon Pit here, all focusing on the Elder Drake itself, and that sets up a potential steal from Amazing. Didn't seem like Giants felt like they had the tools to maybe force a fight, even though Source was running from base, because Sunstar wasn't there either. That's a man who just stole the Elder Drake, by the way. Oh, he's so happy.
Oh, I love the player shots showing the celebration. But we need to summarize. 45 minutes in. The goal difference of 4,000, it does not matter at this point in time. 6 items being approached for multiple members. GAs for both top laners. Banshee's Veil for Soaz as well.
Even support's getting close. Actually, full items right now for Hyper. You don't want to buy one more. You need the pink ward. And then he's gone for a full shielding build with the Karma, with the Athenes and Ardent Center. And even the Locket and provides another shield. for him. So when he has a big AoE shield he pops from the Karma, he actually gives a lot of benefits.
A lot of value.
A lot of value.
Value
From
added.
From
you might
Hybrid
say.
there. And
Well.
let's see, it's by no means
Oh, wait,
over.
Smitty J. Smitty J, where's he down bottom?
Where's the camera?
I think he's in trouble. A lot of members of Origen
He's running.
pushing down.
He's running.
Ashara was used by Peke. Origen, they're running, they're chasing. Slow comes out from Peke ever so slightly. Pillar of Ice will slow things down. Look at the rest of
He's not
Giants.
even in trouble.
They're up in the top lane. Now Origen, they may be in trouble. Maxlaw, over 3,500 hit points. Gonna tank this turret for days. Look at that heal. Maxlaw does not care. And Giants, they sneak a turret.
All because Smitty J managed to escape in the bottom lane. So it's still here. If they do fight each other, it would not be very exciting.
Yeah, 151 on Soaz is Poppy.
Yeah.
He's not moving though.
Double
Dun, dun,
J.
dun, 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 dun.
He's waiting. Secret mission.
Oh.
So us. The former Baker. we
Former
learned
Baker.
In the feature.
You know, I always thought the baguette thing was just because he was French.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of his funny thing. I never
yeah.
actually realized.
Yeah.
It was because he used to be a baker.
That's like shame on us though, right?
Kinda
Right.
is. We've only known the guy for like 4 or 5 years now.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry, Soaz.
Yeah.
That's on us.
Or maybe he should have told us, right?
True.
50-50, right?
True.
Like I tell you.
Well, I already know. How would that go? So, how did you win the game? Well, I used my baking experience.
Hey man, I used to be a baker, you know.
pressure
I
was
worked
on.
under a lot of pressure. It's very hot in there, and then I could perform on stage.
Yep.
All right, back to you, Trevor. Because that's what players do. They toss it back to the cast.
Yeah, I don't think too many players have done that. But look at this. Amazing. Looking for the flank opportunity. Teleports for Soaz and Smitty J are available, and they were doing battle down bottom. Although Soaz burned his ultimate on the cooldown. Amazing, he's still not done.
Amazing is really far behind enemy lines, sneaking around.
Look
Now
at the
they're
tunnels.
chasing him.
There's not a lot of tunnels available for Amazing to get out with that Void Rush. Looking on the mini-map, that's gonna find a long-range one as he's able to escape. And Origen playing with a little bit of fire. 20 seconds until the Baron spawns.
But
That's
they have
got to be
made
the
a
next
change.
objective.
Trevor, they have made a good change here. They're keeping Power Weaver around the mid lane to instant wave clear now. And yeah, it's not very interesting, but you need to always push mid lane first when you want to set up for these objectives like Dragon and Baron, so you can move in and get your vision down. Bot lane though, Smitty J got a tower. Source is there, but he can't really touch him. And rest of Giants now suddenly gets a few seconds around the Baron. Oh, actually no pink wards because they're full items on Hustle, so you have no pink wards.
This
At all.
could be it. Hawk shot comes out from Pickett. Teleport from Smitty J will send him into the Baron Pit River. Barrel comes out. Baron going down. It's secured by Giants. They've got the control. Nobody's taken down. Pillar of Ice will slow Amazing, but Giants have snuck their first Baron.
All right, Baron for each. OG pushing down mid. Not really able to force anything with it. They might have to just go back and defend in their own base now. Elder Drake is going to be a few more minutes. Time for Giants to have 2 lanes pushing in, where they have super minions in the mid lane. And then you pick 1 lane on the side and you have Smitty J. Actually, no, Smitty J has no TP.
No TP.
He can't really go split pushing on his own.
Not a Soaz. Soaz joined, or followed rather, a minute or two ago.
Red team's inhibitors respawning soon.
Thank
Okay,
you, Summoner's Rift
thank-
Lady. Red team inhibitor.
It is respawning, guys.
It is.
Look at
There
that
we
respawn.
Thank you, observers, for highlighting that one. But Officio, I bought into the Origin hype from yesterday, thinking that this should have been a clear win. But you called it.
I did.
European LCS teams can be so inconsistent, and Origin's lack of, well, anything, has now put them in a 50-minute duel.
Yeah.
Do or die against a Baron-empowered Giant squad.
Basically, Trevor, we have learned that after a 2-0, we shouldn't jump on the hype train yet. But Giants is also a better team, honestly, than this terrible, terrible record they have at the moment. Because they've actually had some very close games. They just always end up losing it in the end, and then it goes 0-2.
We'll find out if that case. Smitty J is forcing everybody backwards from Origen. Pillar of Ice is up, trying to zone away the Origen members. They're trying to do what they can with the poke, but it doesn't matter. And Giants, they've got themselves 2 inhibitors uncontested at 50 minutes on the clock. And there's literally no more room for items on every single Giants member.
Again,
I
when
take it back because
he just sold
Smitty
them.
J just sold one, but that's not fair.
No, in the late game, it's okay to sell your items. Actually, a cool thing, something I really want to test the math on, but I think Azir late game, getting attack speed boots is actually a DPS upgrade over flat magic penetration boots, because flat magic penetration in the late game is not very strong. Once targets get like way above the 100 MRs, removing just a little bit of that doesn't really do a whole lot. Percent magic penetration is fantastic, obviously, but I want to be 100% sure it's correct math-wise before I make the statement. Now I just kind of open up for the idea.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that is the case.
Empowered recalls from Giants means this is not the riskiest of moves in the top lane. Origen have to try to figure out how to handle these super minion lanes. And you know what, Officio? You do the math. You do you, and I'm not going to get involved because numbers,
You, me.
they're not my strong suit.
That.
Not my strong suit at all.
Sunstar is sitting top lane right now, taking away Gomes and pushing in against Soas. So clearly Giants are not interested in setting up for a Dragon. They want that last inhib tower down first and then go back to Dragon. We want to make sure this game keeps going on for another 5-10 minutes. So get every single inhib, then get that Elder Break, then get another Baron, and then you have permission to win. Okay.
Yeah, that...
I mean, it wouldn't have done
almost
anything.
caught
It wouldn't have done
Smitty J.
anything.
No.
He has tenacity boots as well.
Well, and a GA to boot. Right, Giants, they're trying to siege up top. Soaz and Amazing, they've danced in front of the gates of their base, and Smitty J does not care. Origen, the rest of the team is grouped up. They are now behind in gold from that Baron play by 300 for the first time in really like 30 plus minutes. And Officio, this is officially the second longest game of summer, and it's set this week. The first, second, and third longest games of summer have all been set this week. It's been very, very slow, methodical, passive series of games. The tower's going to go down here. Pekka's got no Ash Arrow.
All right, and let's try and look at how Giants can win this late game fight. Pekka has no way of avoiding a flash body slam from Maxwell. There's no QSS for him. There's no Mikhails or anything for Hybrid. Meaning, Maxloy, if he finds Pekka in this fight, he can take him down. Same for Power of Evil. There are two squishy targets for Maxlaw. No Hourglass or anything. There are two very, very easy targets for Maxlaw to take down. Knock them back into his team, but he needs to find the right opening.
Amazing has got a lot of damage onto Maxwell with the help of the team. Knight goes golden with the Hourglass. He could be in trouble. The rest of Origen need to find a kill. Maxlaw, he's flashed away, but Pekka is caught. Pekka does as well. Hustlin's the one that gets the kill. Finally, Soaz throws down the hammer, but it is too late. There's no more real damage up for Origen, and they're in trouble.
Yeah, Pekka tried to dive the backline. Now Amazing.
Amazing's looking for Sunstar, can't find him. A flash forward from Soaz. Soaz is looking for more. Soaz, he's staying alive. He manages to survive, and Giants have won the fight clearly.
Giants now got super minions coming. One Nexus turret almost down. Knight and the rest of the team definitely gonna win this one.
This is game. Giants destroy Origen's Nexus in the longest game of the summer split.
That last team fight, Pekka on an Ashe were suddenly in the back hitting Maxlaw, and the rest of Giants just turned and jumped him and killed him. I have no idea how Pekka even ended up there. I assume Maxlaw knocked him back, obviously, but I didn't even get to see the Maxlaw's ulti in that fight. I'm gonna just almost correct myself and say he must have knocked Pekka back there before it happened. We're just rewatching it over here. Actually, Pekka actually stepped up and started hitting him on his own, and then he flashed a barrel. So, great flash.
I think we should leave this one for the analyst here.
They definitely have to replay that one. That's huge in these late game fights.
And I think it's something that is a discussion that needs to continue happening. Last week, Pekka gave up a lot of kills. I'm going to give that one away to being the new ADC, somewhat disrespecting his opponents. Still incredibly new, of course. Yesterday, same thing happened. Caught out multiple Gragas engages. This fight happens, and it costs the game. Now, should Origen have been in a 54-minute death match with Giants? That's a bigger question in my mind, because with this team and these players, I don't think they should have.
Well, I mean, you talk about Pekka as an AD carry being new, so we can't really expect too much still from Origen, despite them showing up yesterday. I think also credit to Giants. I mean, this game, while we didn't have any like, insane world-class play, like we had some solid plays in there, and then we have some teams being a little bit afraid of doing too much. We had, in the start, options for a lot more, but then they wouldn't gank the flash lanes, flashless lanes. So, game could have given us more, but in the end, Giants win.
They do win, and they win by
That's it.
punishing and winning a team fight. We're going to head to the LCS to break down exactly their thoughts of the 53-minute epic.
The game could have given us more. 54 minutes it was already, and Giants win it in the end.
You still want more?
I want to echo the question that Trevor there posed at the end for us here. If you look at these teams separately before the game, should this have turned into a 54-minute slugfest? And you guys said a lot of things about picks and bans, saying, well, if it goes the wayside in the mid-game, then it will go this long.
Yeah, if we could get the picks on the screen. There's just a lot of late game here on the side of Giants, so if you don't immediately close, it's going to be hard. Especially, I want to take a look.
Sound was there, but we got
We got the graphic right now. I just want to ask Odawamne, who's now joining us, Poppy into Trundle. It used to be a matchup that, in my opinion, Poppy was okay in most matchups. Then she got a lot of nerfs. Then QSS kind of was removed as an option to get rid of Trundle Ultimate. That matchup seems very favorable to Trundle, in my opinion. What's your take on it?
Well, Trundle wins early game, and as the game went on, Poppy used to win, at least before, because her Q used to outrange Trundle, so she could just keep him at bay and just keep poking him, and at one point he would just get chunked super hard. But that was in Titanic Hydra meta and before QSS. And right now, without QSS, it's just so hard because Trundle is just going to push you. He's going to also sustain you with either Lifesteal Hydra or the passive. And you can't really fight back because he's just going to clear the wave and then try to get the roam off.
Yeah, you also had some comments. We were watching the game together on Trundle in team fights. Can just ulti the Poppy every time and then it seems very easy. Is Trundle is that the way you want to play Trundle in team fights? Or how would you approach a team fight if you're, say, a Trundle player?
Well, with Trundle, usually you just don't want to teamfight, you know, because his 1v1 is so strong and his 2v2s on top lane are really good, so he can just pressure the tower super hard because he has his W. He has a lot of steroids to just hit the tower. But when it goes to team fighting, if it's usually late in the game, he's really strong because he will just go into your backline, just sit there in front of them, and he will ulti the enemy tank, you know, so your backline is just going to kill the tank while he's just going to survive and take no damage. So if the game goes long enough, team fights for him are really, really good.
Yeah, to look at the question from the other side, obviously, if you see all the scaling coming out from the side of Giants, then why do you go for that Poppy? And more overall, we had question marks. Why do you go for the Poppy at all currently in the top lane meta?
Yeah, maybe the plan was to snowball it. We have a replay of a very early gank too. Maybe it was all built into champ select that I want to get up and I want to look at too. It's amazing going for a really quick clear. So Amazing went for 3 camps, no Scuttle Crab, and then went for a very early red buff gank in the top lane. Usually, that can swing the matchup, any matchup either way, but he kind of failed it. And as a result, he was behind farm. Maxlord took the strong side of the jungle away from Amazing. Amazing was a full level down, was like 10 CS down. He had to go for like, the whole reason we highlight this really weird gank in mid lane is because he didn't have any other options. He was just like messing around at that point and fell very far behind. Do you tell your jungler sometimes, level 3 gank me with red buff?
I don't really tell him to gank top at level 3, but he will just do it if the wave is good enough. Like, if the wave is frozen in front of my tower and he asks me, hey, is the wave good? Can I gank after 3 camps or whatever? And if the answer is yes, then he will just come because it's kind of free. And if he tries to overextend to just push the wave and to be safe in a small time, then we can just gank him and kill him. But that one seemed a bit too forced, so it didn't really work out. And it was just a weird timing because Poppy was still level 2 and Trundle got level 3, so Trundle, it was really easy for him to just run away from that gank.
Should Amazing then wait? Because there was no ward just yet. They could have probably seen if Trundle was going for the ward, or was the timing window closing because the wave was pushing out?
Maybe he could have waited a bit, but that timing window is really small because they need to do it fast, else the jungler starts falling behind. And the gank is always good if you do it when both top laners are level 2 because they're so much squishier because when you level up you get like 100 HP, so it's really hard to pull off the gank. So if you would have done it faster, or maybe if you would have waited a bit more, then it probably would have been a good gank.
Yeah, with all these factors, Amazing did redeem himself later. It became a very close game, and we do want to highlight this, the Elder Drake steal, the fight, the steal, and then Amazing's reaction, because it was a very good move to make and quite important. It looked like it could win them the game at that point.
Yeah, this was just a phase of the game where Origen was looking to still win it because Sunstar, while he had a really good scoreline, he had such a hard time entering this fight. He was stuck behind the Dragon Pit, and most of his damage went on the Elder Dragon, so Origen kind of leading there. It was almost a surprise for me that Giants ended up winning it in the end.
Yeah, definitely. And a question that Deficio and Trevor are talking about as well. Obviously, is it becoming a problem? We highlighted expected that he's bringing that consistency communication to the team, but the mispositioning, especially in this last team fight, cost them the game somewhat. So how can you kind of, in the short term, try and make that work?
Odwamna, have you been autofilled to AD carry?
I've been autofilled to support as well, so...
Have you experienced being caught out a lot and not being as tanky as you're used to?
Well, not really, because I kind of know what I can do and not do, but sometimes I just get caught off like that, because I just don't play the role. So it's just hard for him, because he played mid, and now he played AD carry, so like... Before he played AD carry in LCS, he played like, what, 10 games or whatever in solo queues, so it's just hard for him because all these other players have played AD carry for like seasons, so it's just hard for him to adapt to like positioning and the playstyle, so I think he just needs a lot more time.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Player of the game in this one, Giants victorious, and Knight is our player of the game. He is the continuing storyline for us. We have our eyes on him. Wonderful performance, quadra kill on Azir last week. This time he does seem to be doing well on that champion consistently, and it's giving Giants the wins.
Yeah, it's just dealing a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
Late game Azir in some of these team fights when Trundle, like Odwamna alluded to as well, can remove the armor of the one frontliner that's in your way. He just threats to people.
Yeah, their Knight getting the praise he deserves. One more question for you, Odwamne. We heard the Deficio saying in the game, Trundle is like the Nidalee of top laners. He can take over the game if he gets an early lead. We saw that here, but what do you make of that statement overall?
It can be, because he doesn't even need to get an early lead because he's so strong that he can just create the lead himself, so he doesn't really need jungle pressure because he's just so strong early game. Like, he doesn't really have a weakness in laning phase, and at level 6 he just becomes unkillable pretty much, and he can kill people in lane. Super easy. But I don't think he's that big of a problem. It's just you need experience to play against it. You need to figure out good picks to play against it. For example, I think Gnar would be a good pick because he can just kite him out and his damage is similar. It's just Trundle, if he gets a lot of time in game, he's going to become a really big problem because he's just going to ignore you in a side lane, just take the tower in front of you, and then if it goes to team fighting, it's just really hard because it's so hard to play against him in team fights just because there's no more QSS in the game for your tanks.
Yeah, we will see what the teams decide to go for when we come back, because with a win on the books, the Giants have a chance to pad their rank in the standings with 3 points off the table if they close it out. We'll see if Origen can even out the series in just 3.5.
Now it's Giants versus Origen. The volley didn't find a target, but Sunstar's in trouble. Exhaust comes out. I think he hits the kill.
Nice.
Yeah, we got them.
Lucas there. Get Trundle. Push mid, go mid.
Don't think they can stop this one. Knight's looking for the Emperor's Divide. He catches 3. It means a kill under Power of Evil, but he costs him his own life. Heroic Charge pins him against the wall as the bubble throws up Soaz. Giants have successfully defended their base. Knight goes golden with the Hourglass. He could be in trouble. The rest of Origen need to find a kill. Maxlaw, he's flashed away, but Peck is caught. Peck is down. Power of Evil follows as well. Hustlin's the one that gets the kill. Finally, Soaz throws down the hammer, but it is too late. Giants destroy Origen's Nexus in the longest game of the summer split.